I remember growing up. It was a long time ago. I didn't have white hair in those days. It didn't rain so much in the summer. Back then the sunsets were redder. There were more old people. The world was full of them. And now I look around and it's full of young people. Funny, you'd expect it to be the other way around. Animal minds are simple and therefore sharp. Animals never spend their time divided in experience into little bits and speculating about the little bits they've missed. The whole panoply of the universe is expressed to them as A, things to mate with, B, things to eat, and C, things to run away from, and D, rocks. This frees the mind from unnecessary thought and gives it a cutting edge where it matters. Your normal animal, in fact, never tries to walk and chew gum at the same time. The average human, on the other hand, thinks about all sorts of things around the clock on all sorts of levels without interruptions from dozens of biological calendars and timepieces. There's thoughts to be said and private thoughts and real thoughts and thoughts about thoughts and a whole gamut of subconscious thoughts. To a telegraph, the human head is a din. It is a railway terminus with everyone talking at once. You see, good judgment comes from experience, which you get from bad judgment. It's good to get your mistakes done early. I don't personally believe in personal improvement. Every improvement you make just creates new problems. That's my philosophy. Life is hard. It's just how it is. You can read all the books you want and meditate and reduce stress and lose weight, but the fact is that life is rough. Good judgment comes from experience, and experience comes from making mistakes caused by bad judgment. So, the smarter you get, the less you learn. And eventually, when you think you got it all figured out, you realize you don't know a damn thing. But you got experience doing it. Here's an example. Build a man a fire, and he'll be warm for a day. But set a man on fire, and he'll be warm for the rest of his life. The trouble with having an open mind, of course, is that some people insist on coming along and trying to put things in it. It is often said that before you die, your life passes before your eyes. And this is true. It's called living. I spent the first 4.5 billion years as part of this planet without any complaints whatsoever. It's only during the last 70 years I've encompassed a few issues. Now there's a rumor going around that I have found God, and I think this unlikely because I have enough difficulty finding my keys. And there is some empirical evidence that they exist. The Supreme Being wanted me to let you know that your many, many, many messages and verbal pleas are received. They're all heard. And I have to report to you all that God's last name is not damn it. That's what we frequently call him, isn't it? The biggest surprise I had when I first landed in heaven was to discover the very creator of the universe. The solar system on our own little planet does not in the least resemble an omnipotent and wise old human being, but is actually a large dog. The dog's name is Lordy, and it's a fine and fitting name for a dog or a supreme being. Many of my southern friends have unknowingly called for her help simply by crying out, "Oh, Lordy!" When you think about it, we should have all realized that the word God is just dog spelled backwards. Goodness is what you do, not what you pray to. Lordy is a mother. She's a good dog and smart. It seems the early writers had been aware of the great dog, but were dyslexic, and when they spelled it backwards in the first religious book, and it's been very much an embarrassment to the great dog ever since. Well, when you think about it, it's perfectly obvious that a dog created the earth, since it's round like a ball and does shake occasionally. It's something dogs like to play with. Besides, a dog is man's best friend, and the great dog made sure there were humans on the planet to be companions to the dogs. Now, everybody knows that a dog is man's best friend, but if you have any doubt, there is a scientific experiment you can conduct which proves it. And I'll show you that one right now. First, you get the large steam trunk, and you puts it down and opens up the lid. Then you go over and you get your dog and drag him over, and you put him in the steam trunk. Then you look around and you walk over to your wife, and you walk her over to the steam trunk, and you put her in the steam trunk with the dog. And we need one more example. There's my mother-in-law. You walk over and you grab your mother-in-law and you put her in the steam trunk too, and then you close it. And you sits on the lid for about 30 minutes or so while you smokes a cigar. Stop knocking. When the time is up, when you opens the lid, who's going to be happy to see you? Man's best friend.